Well, salutations, kindred spirits. Hello and welcome back to another magic history lesson. And hey, guess what we're talking about today? Yeah, cups and balls. And before we get to that, I got a little prologue as I film this video. It's early May 2021, and as such, I'm participating in Trick-A-Day May. A Trick-A-Day May, this is where every day in May, variety entertainers from around the globe, we submit our art to social media platforms, and for the most part I'll be doing this on TikTok, as dig this, TikTok has granted me early access to 3-minute videos there, so I have options to do longer form content, and the shorter videos I do will get to YouTube Shorts and other platforms, but some of the longer stuff like the cups routine I filmed yesterday was 90 seconds, so too long for a short, but too short for a long form. So here's what we're going to do. Occasionally, I'll examine the routines I offer that are in that gray area. So today, we're going to look at my most recent cups and balls development. We'll take a look at that, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the teachings, some of the masters, the books, and such that I learned from that led me to the point where I'm at now. But let's get started by taking a look at the trick. So here it is, Trick-A-Day May 2nd. Cups and balls. So hey, there's a lot you can do with the set of cups and balls. With your kind attention, I'd like to demonstrate a few of those things now. To do that, I'm going to ask you to keep one eye on the balls, keep one eye on the stick, and keep one eye on the cups. Yeah, if you're missing the third eye, you can just share with a neighbor. And hey, along the way, use your imagination. You want to pretend that when I wave the wand over the balls, they appear to vanish, traveling back from whence they came beneath the cups, which is an illusion often attributed to sleight of hand, but dig it. If I were to trap the balls under their respective cups, that would make it near impossible for them to vanish and reappear elsewhere unless I cheat, and I do. And now I know what you're thinking, because I'm a mind reader too. Yeah, you're thinking, boy, this guy's got a lot of balls. And you're right, I do. So we'll get rid of a couple. We'll just use the one ball with the 3 cups. Watch as I endeavor to sneak it underneath right through the top, one at a time. That's 1. That's number 2. And hey, that's number 3. And speaking of 3, dig it. That's number 1, that's number 2, and that's number 3. Now I can do that because I have an extra ball that I hide under one of the cups. Yeah, I have an extra ball there. I use that one so I can make it disappear and appear elsewhere. And I can do that because, well, as I said, I have an extra ball that I keep. It's the extra ball that I pretend to make vanish and appear elsewhere. Yeah, I can do that because of the extra one that I have hidden. So that's the 3 cups, that's the 3 balls, that's the extra one, and that's an orange, which makes this not only a good trick, but a nice snack. And I hope that's worth a like and a share. Thank you. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you've actually seen the development of this routine over the last year, where I started with a 2-cup routine, developed some 3-cup stuff, adding the sponge balls in and integrating some of the fruit along the way. And some of this information has been posted in my tutorial playlist. So if you are interested in learning some of this, you can go check out maybe I can leave a link over here and go click around there. Maybe you'll find some cups and balls stuff that'll interest you. But as far as like what I'm going to teach today, I'm going to teach you how I was taught. So we're going to review some of the books and the magicians that I would recommend if you have an interest in learning the cups and balls. So let's start at the beginning, and for me that was Dai Vernon. In particular, it was the Stars of Magic book that had Dai Vernon's impromptu cups and balls routine in it. This was my initial exposure to sleight of hand in an impromptu fashion with cups and balls, and I think that's worth study. But the routine that really got me going on the cups was Dai Vernon's. He released it as it was a pamphlet as I read it. I think it's in the Dai Vernon Book of Magic. If I'm not mistaken, those routines are both the same, but I know you can get the pamphlet. I think Penguin Magic sells it, and this is a great routine to begin with. You'll learn the Bosco Batalamo ball vanish, the 3 ball vanish and reappearance. There's a great section with some audience interactions where the cups they pick, balls move from cup to cup, and the load sequence which Vernon developed also is attainable. It's accomplished under a false explanation which really misdirects the audience well. So if I were to suggest just one routine to start with, it's probably going to be the one I started with, and that's the Dai Vernon cups and balls. It's a good one. As an honorable mention, about the same time I was reading this, I also was reading Routine Manipulation by Louis Ganson. In Routine Manipulation, Kenbrooke, a wonderful magician from the UK, published his cups and balls, which has some merit. Number one, it doesn't use extra balls, and it also it's short, direct, so it's attainable for a beginner, but it only uses one big load. So as far as having to manage a bunch of fruit in your pockets and stuff that is not really practical for a lot of performers, you might consider the Kenbrooke routine and routine manipulation. It's an honorable mention. So moving forward, I'm going to also suggest Mike Amar's cups and balls, but loosely. In particular, I would recommend the opening sequence from Mike. Mike has a wonderful production of 3 balls, and then he has a great sequence based on the Bosco ball vanish, which is in the Dai Vernon routine. He has a great 3-ball vanish sequence that is just super elegant. It avoids a lot of false transfers, and for that reason alone, Mike's routine is worth study. Note, Mike, that routine can be found in The Magic of Mike Amar, which is a wonderful book worth your attention. And Mike also did a whole book on the cups and balls. If you can find that, it's a wonderful tome full of all kinds of knowledge. Now, let me digress just a bit. The routine that you saw me do on the short form and that you've seen a lot on the YouTube is not really the routine that I use in real life. When I'm paid or working as a professional, the routine I opt for is a 2-cup routine, and this is basically David Williamson's Gold Cups, which I was fortunate to learn in the mid-90s. Williamson's Wonders was the book that I learned it from, and later on I'd be able to see David do that routine through his videos, Sleight of Dave, which is wonderful. You get to see this routine executed flawlessly, and I like the 2 cups. You know, it's a quick routine. For me, it works. I don't know it's going to work for everyone. I know a lot of performers like more audience interaction, but hey, I'm going to recommend David Williamson's, and it's easy to do that because just about everything he does is just top tier, top notch. While we're on the subject of 2 cups, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Tommy Wonder, who, it's a tie between Tommy and maybe Ricky J, whose history lesson, if you haven't seen Ricky J's history lesson, you're going to want to go look that up on the cups. But Tommy Wonder's 2-cup routine is one of the most original 2-cup sequences, and it is so fooling, and it also avoids any pocket loads. It's just a masterpiece. So another one you'll want to familiarize yourself with if you haven't is the Tommy Wonder 2-cup routine. One more guy I gotta mention. This is a weird one, but he comes in because it's important in the development. This is Sankey, who is generally not regarded for his cups and balls work, but back in the 80s, in his first book, Sankey Panky, I think it was the 80s, it might have been early 90s, I read this, he had a routine called My Cups Runneth Over. And in this routine, he had the idea of preloading the cups with sponges. Right? So you could have loads in there ahead of time that your audience wouldn't be aware of. And that was really a focal development for the routines that I've been working on currently. If this idea intrigues you, allow me to recommend one more routine. David Regal's Cups and Balls, where he actually produces cups and balls from cups and balls. It's a wonderful, one of the best cups and balls of all time. For sure. So yeah, there's 3 you're going to want to look at. David Regal's Cups and Balls, Ricky J's history lesson, and Tommy Wonder's 2-cup routines. Those are like the masters doing their thing with their own beats. But if you want to learn what I do, you're going to take a look into the tutorial section. Note that I also sell some cups on conjure.com. This is my website where I teach beginner magic. I offer the Murphy's cups, which are these. It's a heavy aluminum set that has hard crochet-covered cork balls. And I offer a nice set with a wand, cups, balls, and sponge balls. So go visit me at conjure.com if you're in need of a set of those. And when you buy the cups there, you also get it's like an 8-minute tutorial where I teach you one of my recent cups and balls developments. And that's how you can do that. And before signing off, I would like to say, if you've enjoyed the discussion, if this information seems like your jam, consider a subscribe, join the Magic Party. We're having a good time here. And on that note, if you're in the Magic Party already, if you have a question about anything we've discussed here, now, before, or after, I'm here in the comments for you. I want to hear from you. I want your questions. I'm always looking for constructive criticism, or just say hi. It helps the algorithm, and that helps me find you, and just we grow in general that way. And that's all I have to say about that. That brings us to the end of the clip. As always, hey, I thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao for now.